My Border Terrier video generated a lot of questions about how I do hand stripping, so I'm going to show you my process and hope I don't get in too much trouble. Hand stripping is where we pull out these long dead hairs to help stimulate the hair follicle to continue to grow this nice wiry coat. It also keeps the hair follicles healthy and helps them from becoming clogged and creating skin problems. So we're going to take these longer guard hairs and pull them down until he looks like this. Charlie's coat is blown, so I had to take more than I wanted. These are the tools that I use. I did make a previous video explaining them, and I also wrap my hand up to look like this because I am a sissy. Like I said before, we're going to be removing these longer white guard hairs. And it doesn't hurt the dog. As you can see, they pretty much fall out all on their own. They are dead and they just want to die. I recommend getting yourself some chalk. I don't have any, so I'm using ear powder. I'm going to go through his coat and lightly dust that ear powder in. This just helps us get a better grip on the hair. I start with my Annis Fine rake, and I rake him out with that for what seems like an eternity. After I'm done with that, I use my carding knife. This just helps to remove any more undercoat that the rake missed. I hold his skin really tight, and I make sure that the knife is flat against his body. You don't want to be digging into their skin with this because you can hurt them. So make sure you're holding it nice and flat and going really slow, and you're going to end up with a hair pile like this. Charlie seems pretty proud of himself. After you're done that process, his coat's going to look like this. And you can see all those little white long hairs sticking up. Those are the hairs that we're going to want to pull out. And you can see they come out so easily. To do this, I start with my top coat brush, which I finally found. I put some of the powder on it and I just dust it through his coat. You're going to end up choking on it. I use my pumice stone to strip out the really bulky areas. Again, making sure that his skin is held very tight. I don't want to pinch him with this. We do this for what seems like a whole other eternity. After I go through his whole body with the pumice stone, I switch to my stripping knife. I use this for detail work and to get those smaller hairs that I miss with the stone. We do this for what seems like a whole other eternity. Here is what the process looks like close up. You can see that I'm not grabbing his skin. I'm just using my thumb to pinch the hair between my thumb and the stripping knife, then gently pulling. Stripping is a slow, methodical process. You don't want to go too fast or you're going to create holes in the dog or skin irritation. Most dogs learn to enjoy this process. Some even end up falling asleep if it's done regularly enough. Use your top coat brush to pull up those little hairs that are sneaking through and gently remove those as well. Keep stripping the dog for as long as it takes you to really question your life choices, which is right about here. At the end of the day, you want his coat to go from looking like this with the long white hairs to looking like this, where you can see that deep, rich, beautiful red color coming through. Border Terriers have their entire bodies stripped, their feet, their face, their beards, their ears, and even their little bums if they allow it. But if dogs aren't tolerant of this, it's absolutely okay to trim their face, feet, and bum. If Charlie was still being shown, he'd have to lose a few pounds. But also, I would have filled in this little dip in his back. And I also would have built up a little more hair right where his tail connects to his body. But Charlie isn't being shown. He's a happy-go-lucky pet these days, and I think he looks great. So yeah, that's how I strip dogs.